Hello and welcome my wonderful friends, how you doing today? It's Chris here and we're going to do a review for Iron Marines. Now I was lucky enough to get early access to Iron Marines, so thank you very much to the wonderful developers. Their kindness will in no way reflect on my review though. Though, I must say that my bias in loving Ironhide's games might just a little bit. Now, you may have heard of Kingdom Rush 1, 2, or 3. These are the same developers who made this game. And this time around, they aren't making a tower defense game. Instead, they're kind of switching around a little bit, and they're going to make a single-player, real-time strategy game. I think the most interesting thing about this game is that there's really no games like it. It's very, very unique. So Iron Marines manages to mix a hero, different units, bases, defensive towers, tons of missions, fantastic enemies, and a great story, and bake it into a delicious Iron Marines pie. Now, I'm going to break it down for you guys to review it, so you can decide if you want to buy this game. I'm going to talk about the graphics, the gameplay, the fun level, and the replayability. And this will lead to my magical final number and my recommendation on whether you should try out this game or not. So the graphics. B-E-A beautiful. Oh my god. I've always seen Ironhide's games have some really in-depth graphics, and Iron Marines kind of just takes it up another notch. Everything looks clean, cut, well-designed, and super-duper fun. On top of that, everything just plays really, really smoothly. It might be one of the prettiest mobile games that I've ever played. The game doesn't look procedurally generated, though, or repeated in any way, which is fairly common in a lot of other games. Every single map seems to be, personally designed, unique, and fun. Each map is completely different than every other one, so it allows you to have eye candy at pretty much every turn. Eye candy. The only one issue that I can say is that it might be too colorful. Now this is coming from a guy who plays blues. Everything is, obviously rainbow in that game. But in this game, everything is bright pink, neon blue, neon green. It's just super duper vivid and bright. People might actually get overstimulated by this game. But don't get me wrong, this is a very, very small complaint to a fantastic looking game. And that's on top of the amazing soundtrack that keeps you on the edge of your seat during super duper intense gameplay, by the way. Which leads to gameplay. So now the gameplay is obviously the most important part of the game. You need to have good gameplay to have a good game. It doesn't matter how good it looks if the gameplay is just absolutely awful. So how does it fare against other mobile games? Well, first of all, it's extremely unique. You really can't compare it to many other games, but what I can tell you is that it's sort of similar to another RTS. Probably something like StarCraft, where you kind of get a base, defend it while you build your army until you try and kill your opponent. The main difference is that instead of building a lot of resource generators and settlers and things like that, your time goes into running around, taking down rushes and enemies while you try and sort of push back. Sometimes in multiple directions, by the way. It's sometimes a cluster mesh, just all over the place, running around, doing all these crazy things all over the place. So there's 14 missions, main missions, and 10 spec ops to play currently, but there looks like there will be an entire world to explore fairly soon. I don't know when this will end up coming out, but I know that Ironhide usually does a pretty good job of keeping people occupied with the games that they release. Each mission is completely unique, with different objectives and different units. So one of my biggest quarrels with the game is that it takes so gosh darn long to unlock all of the units. As with most Ironhide games, they like to ease you in the game, showing you each part of, showing you like each unit in each mission, and this means that there aren't very many opportunities for unique strategies in the early part of the game. So overall, the gameplay is really sweet, hectic at times to keep you busy, but time will fly by while playing. So I've got over 30 hours into this game to make sure that I can give you the best accurate review that I can. I went crazy, guys. I just played all freaking day. In the time that I've been through all the missions on normal, hard, and impossible. So with that being said, the gameplay isn't all that time-consuming. Most players will get only about 20 hours out of the game to completely beat it in its entirety. And that can be a little bit sad for some players, but it will have free updates in the future, as well as something that I'll mention, which I'll get to in just a few seconds, in the replayability section. If you have, if you like RTS games, though, you're just going to fall in love with Iron Marine's style of gameplay. It's unique. It has a similar feeling to what you can... It kind of has like a similar feeling to like I said, like StarCraft and these other RTS games, and you can just pick it up and you can learn to play really, really quickly, which is unlike a lot of these other RTS games, though. So kind of surprising there. As far as fun level goes, whoa, holy crap, man. I had a blast playing this game. I couldn't put it down. I played through normal in one night, hard the next, and veteran the next. It took me 3 days to beat it, but I was absolutely obsessed. All the missions and objectives are super unique, and it'll feel like you're doing something new and fun in every single level, pretty much no matter what. The story keeps it interesting along the way, especially if you pay attention to the small details that Ironhide likes to throw your way throughout the game. If you're a fan of RTS games whatsoever, like high-intensity action that requires a lot of micro, this will be one of your favorite games of all time. On the other hand, if you like really slow-paced, simple games, some puzzle games or something like that, this probably won't be your cup of tea. Just throwing that out there. So lastly, it comes down to replayability. This is probably the worst aspect of Iron Marines. It's more of a personal thing for me, because when I play a new game, I want to play it for a really, really long time, not just for, 10 or 20 hours. But I think that most players can play through the entire campaign in less than 10 hours and beat the entire game on the hardest difficulty in maybe 15 to 25. I don't know if that just means that I'm a skilled player and maybe other people aren't, but I beat it really, really quickly, so I don't know. This isn't all that much different than other, Kingdom Hearts games, though. So the games aren't going to last you for months, but while they do last, they are extremely fun. So I know this is a really weird thought, but this game seems like it could really easily be turned into a multiplayer game. Super duper easily. I would not be surprised if they molded this into a multiplayer game in which players match up in 1v1 battles. It's got all the necessary tools and gameplay, and I'm kind of excited to see it happen. Let's root for Ironhide to push this into a multiplayer game. As a single player game with its current 24 total levels, it's a great buy for the price, and I highly recommend you buy it, but the game requires no in-game purchases. In fact, they even give you a ton of in-game money for free to help you throughout the game. I have like 35,000 medallions, and I can buy the highest tier upgrades 35 times. Like, it's just absolutely ridiculous how much stuff that they give you. So, I guess, in the end, as far as replayability goes, it's all about if they do end up coming out with a new world, or maybe even a new world after that. I know with Plants vs. Zombies and things like that, they come out with a new world every few months. So if they keep doing that, obviously I'll be a super duper happy camper. I severely doubt they're going to be doing it every few months, but maybe at least come out with one world and maybe 2 worlds, and I'll definitely be a happy camper. Overall, I would say that the game is a solid 94 out of 100. That's just my magical made-up rating right here. I don't really review video games all that much, but that's how much I like it. Definitely an A, maybe not an A+, though. It's got great gameplay, great graphics, and an awesome soundtrack. It's super fun, obviously addicting, but any avid gamer will beat the game in anywhere from a few days to a week. So obviously, I highly recommend this game. Overall, I'd say that the only thing that I really wish that they do end up doing is making this into some sort of multiplayer game. Even if they make it into a totally separate game, I hope that they make this into a multiplayer game at some point, or make something similar in a multiplayer style. I think that they would make it a delicious, delicious multiplayer game. It would add so much replayability and make a lot more people not just buy the game, but come back and keep playing for months, even years to come after that. So that's going to end my review. If you guys enjoyed this review whatsoever, please subscribe and like the video. Don't forget that I have more ridiculously awesome, amazing Iron Marines content coming out soon. And obviously, as usual, have a super duper delicious day.